In 1850, as the number of the followers of the Báb grew, so did the persecution. The authorities were now willing to take any and all measures to achieve the extermination of the Bábís. In May of that year, the renowned scholar Vahid led 72 Bábís to take refuge at a fort outside the town of Nayriz. Just a couple of years earlier, Vahid had himself become a follower of the Báb when he was sent by the Shah to investigate this new religion. Now he was trying to protect himself and his fellow believers from certain death. During a month-long siege, the governor sent thousands of troops to Nayriz, to no avail. As it became clear that the valiant handful of Bábís couldn't be defeated, the government forces changed their tactics. The commanders outside the fort sent a conciliatory message to Vahid, pretending that there had been a misunderstanding. Hitherto, as we were ignorant of the true character of your fate, we have allowed the mischief makers to induce us to believe that every one of you have violated the sacred precepts of Islam. They then explained that they now understood that the Bábís had no political motive or desire to attack the state, and that their teaching did not involve any great departure from the fundamental teachings of Islam. They asked that Bábí representatives come to speak with them and promised, if you prove yourselves able to demonstrate the true claims of your faith, we too will readily embrace it, for we are not the enemies of truth, and none of us wish to deny it. Your leader, Vahid, we have always recognized as one of the ablest champions of Islam. This letter was attached to a copy of the Quran with the promise, let that holy book decide whether the claim you advance is true or false. We entreat you to refuse to shed more blood before attempting to establish the truth of your cause. Vahid knew this offer was insincere, but as it had been sworn on the Quran, he wouldn't ignore it. So he and 5 attendees went to the enemy camp. After 3 days' discussion, Vahid was pressurized to write to his people, assuring them that they were safe to leave the fortress and return home. He complied, but also wrote a second letter warning his companions of the treachery. This second letter was never delivered. As soon as the Bábís emerged from the fort, they were slaughtered or taken prisoner. And like Qudus, Vahid himself was cruelly tortured and murdered. The victorious army marched back to Shiraz with women and children as prisoners, and the heads of the men raised aloft on lances. Now, all over the country, state-supported mobs gained strength, and Bábí men, women and children were tortured, dispossessed, enslaved and murdered in their thousands.